It is the final regular season match for Waikato in the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership for 2019. They're at home at FMG Stadium with a chance to try and put their first win of the season on board in their last match. They come up against the big boys from Upstate Highway 1. That is the Akarana Falcons, the defending champions, who are in a position they don't want to be because they have to win today and win big if they're any chance of defending their title. Welcome to FMG Stadium in the Waikato on the home of the great game, Sky Sport, for another busy day of rugby league. Hello folks, Stephen McIver, former Kiwi skipper, Richie Barnett in the house, and boy, Akarana have got some work to do today, bud.
They certainly have, and they're chasing points clearly, so it'll be interesting to see how expansive their style of play is, whether they go through the middle or whether they earn the right to play. So it's very interesting from Akarana, but for Waikato's side, they've got nothing to lose, so just go out there and play football.
We saw it last week, execution was the thing they've got to work on.
Absolutely, execution was their downfall last weekend. They do chance their arm, they lack possession and territory last weekend, but what they do have is an enormous amount of courage to just stay in the game.
One final thought too, no Aidan Ackland and no David Barner as we take a look at the points table. The two teams at the top of the table, the Bulls and the Stingrays, who will bring you tomorrow from Apuna Wai, are the two teams in the box seat. You can see the points differential, but no Aidan Ackland, no David Barner. That really knocks their spine about.
Yeah, a lot of experience and leadership there, but I have to say Josiah Afu will probably take the reins there. He's the tempo changer, and I think if the points are going to come free and flowing, it'll come from him.
Weather's been off and on all day. It's time to go up top and get busy for this final match live here on Sky Sport 4. Afternoon, Dale.
Good afternoon, Stephen. Thank you, and a warm welcome to you from Hamilton. It's an overcast Hamilton. Here's the lineup for the Waikato squad. Fairly familiar. A few changes around, but these players will be better for the runs over the last couple of weeks. The Flood brothers are in. Brown will be the skipper, and of course you've got the talented Hayden Kardina as well guiding them around with Haki at number 6. A pretty powerful bench for coach Morgan Kutia.
Morgan, what was the big takeaway from last week heading into this final match of the season for you?
Yeah, Stephen, last week was obviously execution. At this level, we need to play a little bit better with the football when we've got it in our hands.
What have you learnt this season about you and your team?
Oh, it's a tough competition, mate. But the team is still upbeat. They're still a tight unit, and I'm proud to be with these young men.
How much inspiration do you get from playing the big boys from up north?
Oh, it's huge down here. It's not every opportunity that we have to play against Akarana, and here's another opportunity for us. We're still playing football, and that's the good thing about playing this competition.
Morgan Kutia, a small crowd here today. None on the eastern stand, which is under renovations, but a few that are in supporting their teammates and their cousins and the like. Let's have a look at the lineup today for Keith Hanley's Akarana Falcons. Lua Whareala slides into the fullback spot. He has played on the wing as well. Jordan Te Aho, Francis Ledger maintaining good form as well. Chase Bernard's been in great touch for the Glenora Bears during the year. He slots into the front row, and I'm looking forward to seeing action from Chris Seal off the bench. Mati Taufutu also in good touch. Let's hear from coach Keith Hanley.
Keith, you come into pretty much a must-win match and you're down on power. What gives?
Yeah, mate, it's I suppose we probably could have planned it a little bit better, but we've put ourselves in a situation where we've got to win, and we've got to win well. And like you alluded to, we've got a few boys out, so some quality boys have come in, and it's really just about going about establishing our game and trying to be effective for 80 minutes.
How big is the loss of Aidan Ackland and David Barner?
Yeah, that's probably set us back a little bit, but like I say, we've got confidence in the blokes that are coming in to come in and do a job for us today.
So some happy faces in the stands today. Great to be here in Kirikiri, Hamilton, as we bring you the third round of the NZRL National Premiership. With me today is Brent Webb. Webby, it's a tough ask here for Waikato, but they'll be improving. And of course, Akarana have to win handsomely, so they might be throwing the ball and taking a few risks that might keep Waikato in the game. They conceded early tries in the past couple of weeks. They won't want to do that today.
That's exactly right, Dale. Last weekend, they started a little slow against a fast-starting Counties Manukau team, so I'm sure they'll want to try and rectify that today.
Well, as we look out on the players, of course, will be treated to the Haka as well. Number 30 is Pawhare Brown. This is Bernard. He's been in good nick too for the West Aucklanders, the Glenora Bears. Strong in the Fox Memorial Championship. And of course, proud men here from the Waikato region, which has contributed greatly to the culture of New Zealand Rugby League over the years. Think of the names of Lato Haya and of Tawara Nico and the Muru brothers, and reaching right back into the names of Paki and Watane and all of the names that make up Waikato. As we pause momentarily here, Paki Parkinson, Glenn Mounsey and Jack Epeha, the referees and touch judges. We're about to get underway with the Haka. Thank you for tuning in today as we continue to bring you more rugby league than ever before here in the home of New Zealand-led Sky Sport. It's here for the Waikato Haka. Powerful display of the Haka, and they performed that in home games. Only Caleb McLean leading it wonderfully and referencing, of course, the renowned river, the Waikato River, the Piko here, Taniwha on every bend, and acknowledging, of course, the kingitanga as such an important part of the Māori community here in the Waikato. Good to have you along here. It will be Waikato playing from the right to left here today. Just checking the wind factor. We've got Richie Barnett kindly with us sideline today, and well, we've got a chance. I see a little bit of drizzle. Rich, thoughts wind-wise for us, please?
Yeah, strong wind from right to left in favour of Waikato side, but the conditions down here is fantastic, to be honest. Ready for a very expensive style of game. I look forward to see how the Waikato side can defend and concede or try to eliminate the points in Akarana.
The skipper Francis Ledger gets us underway, and he'll send it deep into Waikato's half. A few nerves. The Akarana Falcons arrived not so long ago after hauling themselves down the highway in the big bus, but they look like they're ready for action. There's some defensive work going straight in there from Buddy Tutama. It was David Barner around a whānau event. Aidan Ackland has an injured shoulder as well, so they're significant losses. But Keith Hanley seemed pretty confident about the guys that are stepping in to replace them, Webby.
Well, when you've got a guy like Francis Ledger and the experience that he has at number 6, you've got to think that he's going to be able to do a job there, Dale. But Ackland last week was outstanding. He seemed to finish the game well, but it'd be interesting to see if we see him again next week.
Lana Dennis is up 10 in from the eastern touchline. Under the boot of Karlina, the most experienced here for Waikato. The chase is pretty decent. It's been knocked forward, though. And referee Paki Parkinson right in line to make that call. He treated to some wonderful rugby league last night. Canberra Raiders booking themselves into a spot in the 2019 Grand Final, and it was a wonderful effort by them in 16-10 over South Sydney. As we see the look, it's tapped back in on the inside to Lee Bristow. Quite rightly deemed to have gone forward. 20 metres in, here's a charging runner, settling runners. Henare Raukawa makes the tackle with assistance there from Pawhare Brown. Akarana with it, shouldering arms now. Shire Afu is the distributor today in the first penalty. Going for Akarana. It will be Josiah who will kick towards touch. Left foot up. Some pretty good meterage with that play as well. And they're set on the 30-metre line. And it's a great opportunity for the Falcons.
Yeah, Josiah Afu in this whole tournament has been absolutely outstanding. He's a guy that Waikato are going to have to really work hard around the ruck and try to control.
This is Bernard running with a bit of gusto and attitude early on. He gets the ball away to Ledger. They're alive here through doing a mala. He offloads as well now. And out to Chaz Brown, who gets put away, but only 5 metres out from the try line. Dummy half work for Dyer. And now through Ledger again, it's Bernard. He's the ground inside the 10, right in front of the sticks. Waikato under the pump early on here. They conceded early last week and they can't afford to do so this time around as Vasu Volangi is repelled at the last moment. Akarana threatening. Through Ledger now. Dribbles beautifully into the end goal. Waikato should be able to get back to the field of play. Some pressure on Oblitz Tafar. And there is a Falcons player who took a shot as well there. He's looking a bit dusty out wide.
That was great positional play there by Tuffer. He positioned himself really well behind the kicker there of the ball, Ledger, and just the will to get out of his own end goal has done Waikato a massive favour here.
Dyer is to his feet now. He's from the Tatatu club, which Hanley coached in 2019 from Richmond. Last year's top try scorer in the Fox, David Dyer. Good feet. And he's a tall wing, an ex-basketballer as well, David. So he's up and on his feet now as we see a run here for Waikato. Eventually getting up to play. It's still by Murray.
Go, 2.
Got to show willingness to get involved in the heavy stuff. This time it's Jerome Flood.
Wait here, wait. Go.
As mentioned at the start, better for the runs this last couple of weeks. A compressed Premiership, a 4-week comp, just the 4 teams, and as explained across the last couple of weeks, the promotion-relegation situation that's been available in previous years, not in 2019. Cleverly kept inside by Lua Falealo now, and he comes across field. A determined chase as well, and Rana Dennis is there to shut down the playmaker.
That was a classy little play there by Lua Falealo. He's been really good on the wing for Akarana today at fullback, and I hope we see a lot of him today.
Well, that looked dangerous and could have been very serious. Fortunately, the Waikato players realised they had Darren Kellett-Moore in a dangerous position and pulled out just late. But see how they lift here? Always risky, and then over he goes, and referee quite right to award the penalty. So Akarana have it now, and they're inside the Waikato half. Everyone's putting their hand up for a bit of a chance. Wally Rogers-Brown has the ball. Now just outside the 40. There are options here for Afu. And again, it's Bernard, that shoulder arms attitude that he is renowned for.
Wait. Go, 3.
Solid and straight for the most part. Jordan Tauho gets the ball out wide, and Sam Fapito has it. Waikato survive. Richie Barnett, Waikato holding on here after 5 minutes, and they're putting their defensive work together pretty well.
They certainly last week, in patches, they defended really well, particularly on the line deep. And in the general kicking game was appalling last week, but you can see with the wind conditions, it's really helping Hayden Kari. Now, this was great scrambled defence from Waikato, and that's the sort of style of play that you'd need if you're going to win this game today.
Keith Hanley, very experienced coach, popular figure in the Auckland Rugby League scene, humble man, very respectful of the work the players put in, irrespective of the level of play. And of course, many of these players in the Waikato team preparing for their tribal affiliations for the annual Māori Rugby League tournament coming up in 4 weeks in Rotorua. This serves as a wonderful chance for them to stay in Nick and to retain focus at the conclusion of the club competition. On the left edge come Waikato, and it's a decent run here from Jerome Flood. He's pulled down just outside the 40-metre line, and a penalty to boot as well here for Waikato. A penalty that they will welcome with both arms.
Waikato have really put themselves in this game. Greenwood and Flood have been outstanding with carrying these guys out of their own red area and to get themselves into this nice position down here to try and have a couple of shots at Akarana.
Well, they'll be disappointed they conceded big points against the Stingrays in the opening round. Last week couldn't contain the Canterbury Bulls, who are in good touch, and 2 wins from 2 for the Bulls. Big ups to those of you watching down in Canterbury. You'll be proud of the way your team's tracking. Here's Benjamin Greenwood with a strong carry, and he's 15 metres out from the try line. Dummy half work for Rokawa, just giving him a bit of a plug, and of course a mistake. Commentators Mocha sidelined with our friend Richie.
Yep, disappointing start again, and I guess when you get in good ball position, you need to capitalise on any opportunity. That was very unfortunate, probably handing the ball there. So disappointing, he didn't pick that up. Free. An opportunity gone missing.
You watched that game last night, Richie?
No, I didn't actually. We were at the Mad Butcher's roasting last night, which I found was absolutely superb. What a amazing man, I've got to say. Brilliant night.
And tell me, who roasted him best?
Sorry?
Who roasted him best?
Oh, Don Mann was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Miles Davis was the other one. It was just, yeah, incredible night, mate. To an incredible person.
Big ups to you, Sir Peter Leach. It almost goes together, Mad Butcher and roasting, so great to see it. No doubt worthy charities benefited from the effort. That's his style. Big ups to you, Mad Butcher, Sultan of Sausage. Downtown it comes this time. Torblix Tafar, he has the ball and a little bit of a show. He's picked off by Chaz Brown and then dumped on the 40-metre line and about 15 in from the western touchline here. Sun streaming across FMG Stadium. Been a little up and down weather-wise here today. That ball was a difficult one to take, and Jaden Flood obviously faulted, but it was passed behind him, and he did his best. In the end, though, will be an Akarana feed, and they'll be just inside enemy territory.
Unfortunately here for Waikato, these sort of mistakes are the things that really let a team down. And you know, from when you're playing a real quality side like Akarana, you've got to take the most of your chances. And you know, we've seen the last 2 mistakes now from Waikato in pretty good territory, so they really need to try and fix that.
Fair bit of skin art on show here today. As we see the quick play the ball. So with just on 10 minutes gone, still no score. Must dip our hat really to the home team at the moment. Long way to go on this one though. Little spin from Solomon Vasu-Volangi. Another fend from him. Powerful. He doesn't want to be put to ground. Eventually has to succumb. And out of dummy half, and a whole shot beautifully played here. And the hooker, skillful, Josiah Afu, gets the first try next to the post.
Again, Vasu-Volangi, he's been one of the standout front rows of this whole tournament. He's really carried this team through the middle. Just his ability to get quick play the balls and scatter a lot of defenders, you know, with that big, strong fend. And once again, Josiah Afu, any sort of sniff, any sort of quick play of the ball, you know he's going to get out of there.
Isn't it great that you know, eyes up and Josiah Afu, you know, isolated Reihana Tairakina, so from the inside, and just a big man, his mobility. And he just sensed that straight, eyes up, looking around, he sensed an opportunity here. And just the big body there, just couldn't get across, hoping that his outsides would come into support. Unfortunately not. And that's a great try there from the man we mentioned earlier, Josiah Afu.
From the Northcote Tigers Club in Auckland, Josiah, as mentioned before, to the nephew of the famous Few Boys. They'll be watching today and be proud of their nephew as well. But 21 years of age, he's got a good kicking game as well. Francis Ledger gets the opportunity to put the icing on the cake. Should be a 6-0 lead. We see that prominent Wahoroa in the background, synonymous with the Hamilton Stadium, and no problem there. Pleased that you gave a nod as well to Vasu-Volangi, who really set that one up for Josiah. He just threw an audacious dummy, steps through the hole, and just had the pace and the swerve to get him to the line. 6-0 with the try to Afu in the 11th minute. You're watching round 3 of the National Provincial Championship, coming to you live on Sky. And don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, it'll be another intriguing battle when the Bulls play host to the Counties Monaco Stingrays as well. So that's the start. We've mentioned big points are needed here from Akarana. And while Waikato have weathered the storm in the initial stages, they really have to stay on song, as we see Chase Bernard showing great skill, commitment, and a terrific run and return of the football. Look at that, 40 metres, and now Akarana start to get a spring in their step. The wheels are in motion for Rogers Brown. He too will play it quickly. Afu scoots it with one hand, shows it and drops it back on the inside. 22 metres out, Akarana looking very threatening here at the moment, Webby. And Bernard has been really on fire in the last few moments.
This forward pack from Akarana is so hard to handle. Waikato, they've really got to try and dig their heels in here and try and turn this team away to give themselves a bit of confidence.
Out wide now, picking up Chaz Brown. He'll be looking for Dyer. He slides into acting half. Decent torpedo pass out to Ledger. That's been touched already. Tapped back, knocked on, and everyone's diving at it. Akarana claim a try. I'm not sure that referee Parkinson was in good position. And so he'll be checking with his touchy on the far side of the field. And it is called a try. Sure that some of the Waikato players will dispute it. We'll get a chance to have a look at the replay action, but it was all over the place really for Waikato. They'll be disappointed to have conceded a try back-to-back.
Yeah, that's really tough, you know, to let Akarana come all the way up the field. That great run from Chase Bernard off the kickoff, and then to concede on the end of that is a really tough thing to take. But you know, they've got to find a way.
Well, this is the initial run from Chase Bernard. On fire, the big man, and gee, showed a clean pair of heels and plenty of attitude and pace. So this is the play. Chaz Brown, as Dyer puts it across. Now that one was touched anyway by Flood, tapped back there, then scrambling for it. The try will be awarded to Jordan Tauho. Another little look. Waikato unhappy with the call. Well, don't have the luxury of going up to the bunker and the line, so it's called home and credited to Jordan Tauho as the extras are added. 12-0 here. And 14 gone here in round 3. Akarana looking good.
Dale, I guess it was a tough one to call, especially from up here. The referees would have had the best view of that one. But just again, Ledger being able to fill in at that second receiver role, just with his kicking game. We've seen a couple of little kicks from him that have been very successful today. So, you know, they don't lose a lot in that halfback role.
Conceding back-to-back tries would be enough to make you dip your head. And I guess, Richie Barnett, the main thing here Waikato will need to do is to disregard those tries and fight back tough and to show some real commitment in their defensive work.
Absolutely, the grit and determination. I think their line speed needs to improve and really sustain that over long periods of time, because 2 tries already, you know, 15 minutes, they're starting to break tackles now, so it's a real concern. So there's got to be some leadership, and there's certainly got to be some communication.
Been really impressed with Afu and the wheels he's displaying out of dummy half. This is Tuingamala and Nalu, the player. Bernard, first receiver. Solid D from Brown, who makes the tackle, but the threat looms large here for Waikato. Here's the big up and under. Time to take. It's been played backwards cleverly. Turugopai Murray has it just outside the 10-metre line. Waikato end of the ground. One out running. Slow to retreat at the moment. Benjamin Greenwood in the back row of Brown. Into the hands of Jaden Flood. Can't bust the line too, and we'll play it midway between the 20 and 30. One out running, and pretty easy pickings here for Akarana. Spinning effort here for Lee Bristow. Wrapped up by Matt Tuitama. Waikato onto Karena. Hayden Karena straight down the throat of Lua Falealo. He'll come across field. The chase is on. The end, it's Tairakina makes the tackle on Luafalealo. A busting run here, probing, and plenty of courage on display as well from Fa'apito, who earns a penalty as well.
Fa'apito, he's another one that's been outstanding. He scored a couple of tries last weekend. He got a couple the weekend before. He's going to be a guy that, especially at a yardage, that's going to, give Waikato a lot of trouble if they don't put their shoulders in here and try and get some numbers in on this guy.
Fa'apito shows plenty of pace as well. So had time at the Otahuhu club back in the day, running with Point Chevalier right now, and this is where Waikato are really vulnerable. As Darren Kellett-Moore plays the ball and Vasu Valangi charges forward. Tackle made by Haka Raukawa. And here's Bernard, too close to the line. Bernard's so strong, and he gets there almost pushed away just as he's about to cross over the line. Another gutsy defensive effort here from Waikato, but they're under the pump, believe you me. Here they come. The Falcons giving the ball some air as Taho steps back into the traffic. Put away by Jerome Flood. And there they go, too strong, and there's too much going on at the moment as Hawani Rogers-Brown crashes over next to the post for try number 3.
That's just the fallout from a load of pressure that Akarana forced onto Waikato. Yeah, I don't think it's a lack of effort from Waikato. I just think it's just a lack of class across the paddock, I think.
Well, they know that they need to win big, and if they continue on in this vein, Richie Barnett, they certainly will.
Well, you see two players move up. They really pushed the line speed, and then you've had one hanging back. So I guess if it's going to be a reason for the defence to get better, they need to align with each other. There's been some decisions on the edges that probably weren't up to standard, and certainly Akarana are capitalising on them.
Rogers-Brown showing a willingness to get up in the middle of things. Hayden Carden is the vice-captain today. He's talking with his men, saying we can do better. They will come thick and they will come strong at us. It's a matter of us communicating with each other and letting our defensive line know exactly who has who. So here are the extras to be added by Francis Ledger. Pretty straightforward for him. He's one of the best kickers in the domestic competition, Francis. And he makes no mistake. 18-0 it is now as we come up towards quarter game time here from FMG Stadium. Here is your try scorer, Wani Rogers-Brown, well positioned. Who has been putting in some decent work here at the moment. The ground in absolutely superb condition. It will host the Tonga Great Britain game, and word that we will be seeing a full-strength Tongan team coming to New Zealand. There were serious risks. The issues with administration up there in the Tongan rugby league scene. Of course, the sacking of Christian Wolf, the hiring of Frank Endicott to fill in, but now that seems to have been reversed. Christian Wolf will take over the reins, and looking forward to that game, which comes up around the 20 or the weekend of the 22nd or so of October. Get your tickets now. Well, what is a wonderful celebration of international rugby league coming to New Zealand. Here is Rogers-Brown once again, showing great commitment. He's to ground just outside the 50. Slowed to his feet into another penalty for Akarana. Really playing into the hands of the favourites here at the moment, Waikato.
It's really unfortunate, Dale, to survive for 5 tackles and hold Akarana into their half of the field and just give a poor penalty at the end. It's just doing nothing to help Waikato. There's a lot of things they need to fix up, but those things are the easy ones.
Akarana on the charge again. Vasu Valangi comes powering forward. Tairakina is there to halt his run. They'll try the short side this time around. And it is Te Aho. Inside ball, picking up Kellett-Moore. He's to ground, only 5 metres out. They'll push the pass quickly out through Afu. Inside of Vasu Valangi. He'll go again, the big man. He's got his eyes on the prize, and he gets there. What a run from Solomon Vasu Valangi. Powerhouse running from the big prop forward.
Again, look, this guy's been brilliant this whole tournament, and there's no one more deserving of that try than Vasavalangi. But just his engine. We're 21 minutes into the game, and he's still coming up with runs like this, and just very, very hard man to contain.
Well, he's played for Glenora this year, and that was just absolute intent, wasn't it? He's played out of Townsville as well. A good feat for a big man, and that's well and truly on show here in that run, Richie.
Yeah, I like the change of angle there, and just giving it to their bookends, who have just been outstanding early stages of the first half. Real concerns for Morgan Kutia. Line speed, this team's starting to really build Akarana, and it looks like that 40 points that we spoke about early on it's pretty promising.
Sili Kapawa getting himself ready on the side as well. Well, we would have shared with you some of the mathematics, but the reality is a decent win here by Akarana, and then likewise the Bulls would have to go down significantly as well to the Stingrays tomorrow. So we'll know for sure at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon who and where the final will be. Of course, Akarana are the defending champions. Morgan Kutia is a realistic man. A realist, I should say. So he knows that it was always going to be a tough ask here today. He'll be somewhat disappointed that 3 tries have been conceded so quickly here at around quarter game time. Francis Ledge only 15 metres out. And up go the flags. So classy play at the moment, and a 24-0 scoreline. Sili Kapawa, plenty of skill. He'll be waiting his opportunity.
I was looking at the names in the Akarana list, and I've just sort of mentioned these are Darren Kellett Moore. That's Darren Kellett's son, Samoan international in rugby.
A lot of these guys have interesting whānau connections, don't they, Richie?
Certainly do. I played a lot of touch against him back in the day as father, so just connected recently, and he mentioned, I never thought we'd be watching rugby league, and he goes, it's a pretty good game. So Darren, if you're watching your son, mate, good to see you, mate, and good to see you come to the right code, champion.
Never give up a chance to Needle. Good on you, Richie Barnett.
I love both games, mate. Played both and enjoyed them both. Fantastic.
Of course, Richie was a New Zealand touch player as well. He's had a wonderful career as we see Waikato finally getting a chance to have the ball in hand. The scrum feed here from Reynard Haggie. Waikato about 25 out from their line. They'd love to get across the line. That seemed to drift a little bit high on Mahingarangi. In jersey number 22, Jerome Flood has the dig. He's 12 out from the line. Bernard is all over him. So is Rogers Brown. Bernard being held down. Calling for it as Rokoa. Some of the bigger men decided to get in. Brigham Palai here. Takes it to within 5 metres of the try line. 25 gone, 24-0. Can Waikato pull one back to the back rower? Brown, who also is the skipper. They've had few opportunities from penalties today. This time around, they awarded a penalty for a stripped ball in the tackle. Bit of a pause here from Rokoa. Now the run from Dennis, and Rana Dennis comes to within a metre of the try line. Waikato might just lift their spirits. They've conceded 4 tries already in the match as Hayden Karina looks for some support, and he finds Brown through the middle. Brown wrapped up right in front of the sticks. Rokoa, Palai. Something here, the charging run is effective, the finish is on the money, and Waikato are in to score right underneath the posts. Terrific run. And the big man is credited with the try. Pāwhare Brown, skipper today. He's been involved heavily in the few plays prior to the try. This time due reward for his consistent approach.
Here, Rokawa picks him out beautifully here. There wasn't much going on here for the Waikato team. There wasn't. It all seemed a little bit clunky and a little bit, disinterested in this good ball set. I really want to see Hagi and Akarana try and force a bit more out of their team, and especially down in this good ball area. But yeah, can't argue with a try right between the sticks. Just a beautifully picked out pass.
So some decent commitment as well. Buffalo Brown's been around for a long time, Richie Barnett, and some good play in the lead-up work there. And I guess for Waikato, reminding them that they have some possession, they can be a threat to Akarana.
Yes, first time they've seen the ball in good ball, which is fantastic for Morgan Cootie to see them post some points with limited ball in hand. Buffalo Brown has been fantastic throughout this tournament. As we see Akarana kick the ball, they were disappointed in converting last week. They tried about 7 players and didn't find one, but right in the front, there you go, that's 6-18, and hugely impressed with Flood and Dennis, the back row of Waikato. They can really sort of post points if they can get to the edges and utilise the skill there.
Also, of course, a reminder as we see little league players of tomorrow. Of course, irrespective if you're a little boy or girl, there's plenty of pathways through the code now. And obviously, wishing our Warriors women in NRLW all the best as well, lining up against the Broncos this year. Of course, also was reminded that young Caius, who showed some good skill for the Bulls, and singing his praises as 17-year-old guys still at school. We were mentioning in round 1, gee, this kid's a bit of a find, but the Warriors better get on to him El Pronto. Him, and he's already been ID'd by the Broncos staff as well and has connection there. But wishing him well, Caius. I hope you're watching today. So this time, Tairakina has the ball in centre field, just outside the 40-metre line for Waikato. Go down the left ways, and here's your try scorer, Brown. And that's almost a pick-up as well for Parai. Well, the back rower willing to try something a little out of the ordinary in the hope of upsetting the groove, and back slammed as Lua Farialos, who goes sideline with Barnett.
Yeah, Kapawa's come on, and Toa Miti on for Bernard, and Vasu Folongi.
Thank you, Seth Kaumiti. And Kapawa has contributed really well to the local club scene and representative play and in recent seasons. Another decent run from Rogers. Brown is really up the ante here, and now Te Aho tries to thread the needle. Waikato survived through the efforts of Tafa. He's to ground 5 from his own line.
Tafa again, great positioning there at fullback. He knew Te Aho was coming down there with that little short kick, so really well positioned. Waikato really need to find something in this set. The last set with the small error on this left edge, I think they really need to go back to that.
Bit of a problem at the back as the Waikato trainer gasses it out to help out. Lee Bristow with the ball now, and he's wrapped up with an enthusiastic defensive line from the Akarana Falcons. They lead this one 24-6 after half an hour. But Waikato is still trying to stay in the match. Mahingarangi cops a high shot, and a good chance for Waikato to go downtown, courtesy of a kick here from Reynard Hagi.
This is much better footy from Waikato. Just spreading the ball, getting to the edges of the ruck, and trying to spread that defensive line to try and find a bit more space.
So at the moment, Waikato, they conceded 4 quick tries in the 10th, 14th, 18th and 22nd minutes. But then a good try to Brown and renewed enthusiasm for their mahi at the moment. And that's the second time, really, that Brigham Parai has overthought the situation. He's looking up at who he's running into before securing the football. Slight errors, but can be costly when momentum was just starting to build for his squad. Again,
Dale, these are the errors that don't help your team to kind of create any sort of momentum, and you know, just when you're getting the footy at the right end of the field.
College Old Boys Club, Brigham Parai, basketballer turned rugby league player, decent defensive effort there from Dennis. Coach Morgan Coutier will be wanting sustained effort here as we count it down towards the half-time break. So Inge Kapawa will play the ball, and again, it's Rogers Brown who's been one of the most impressive so far today for Akarana. To his feet, charging on as Taumiti. That is a strength, and Matangi is berated by referee Parkinson, and rightfully so. There's a hand in there, a quick tap and away. Taumiti again, he goes straight. Palai is there to take him. Downstairs Matangi. Here come the Falcons. Chas Brown this time. Wrapped up by Matangi. Afu darts across and picks up Taho. Back on the inside. That's a one-on-one strip, or Parai again.
It's not quick.
And of course, Paki Parkinson just looks at the player concerned and gives him the big NO. We all know what that means. Chris Seal, very effective, close to the line and a danger man. So is this man, Taumiti. He can't get across the line. Waikato under the pump. Taho. Now it comes quickly into the hands of the playmaker, who goes straight for the line but does not get there. Jordan Taho hits a brick wall just next to the post, but still, Akarana are a big chance. Hammering towards the line is Tuingamala. He too is short. Can Waikato survive? I don't think so, but we'll wait and see. No, not this time. As Linga Kapawa says, out of my way, out of my face, and he's in to score as well. 33 in try number 5 for the Falcons.
Boys, other than the try, what about the outstanding work from Tafa at fullback here? He made at least 3 try-saving tackles in this set of 6. This tackle on Tiaho, I mean, that takes a lot of strength and a lot of commitment to really put up to a guy who's coming that far close to the try line. But just again, just the pressure and the quick play of the balls, they had to give in at some stage there, Waikato. But Tafa, you can't question his effort.
Silingi Kapawa loves his footy. Richmond connections, Punchev as well. Wonderful player and close to the line, really hard to stop. Well, the scoreline starting to kick out at the moment. Waikato Rugby League supporter at the moment looking pretty frustrated. But hats off to the Akarana squad. They are playing out of their skin at the moment, Richie B.
Certainly are changing the angles and his real purpose, particularly from their middle third. Very impressed. And of course, when you had the 2 bookends early on, Bernard and Vasuvalangi, they were fantastic, and Chris Seo's just come on in favour of Hoani Rogers Brown, and he's had a lot of experience at Warriors level also.
Francis Ledger, pretty unique style for him. New has a decent look. They needed a big win, and they are well on their way to achieving that here. Not long to go in the first half. An outstanding try-scoring effort here from the Falcons. Come the 100 kilometres or so down the highway, and at the moment looking pretty damn good, aren't they? 30 points to 6 as we get another squizzy at the work of Silinga Kapawa. Just too strong from close to the line. He's got powerful thighs, that post-contact just drives forward and was in to score. We're into the last 5 minutes of this first half as Kapawa takes the ball in yet again. Wrapped up on the 20-metre line, but he's to his feet quickly. Willingness to get involved, fresh legs as well as Seal tempted for the offload. Quick play of the ball, peeling away to the right-hand side is Josiah Afu. He's got a ton of pace. There are runners on the inside. The pass is okay. And streaking away is the skipper, Francis Ledger. Well, they are dead set, slaying this Waikato team in the first half. They're giving it to him. All guns are blazing at the moment, the Falcons.
again, these quick play the balls that the big Akarana forward pack are able to manufacture. And then with a guy like Josiah Afu, taking every opportunity that comes with any quick play of the ball, just the vision up from him here. I mean, you know, for him to actually go through the line, that takes you having a look up and see what the defensive line's doing and take advantage of that quick play of the ball. And Ledger, as all good halves and good spine players, pushing through down the middle of the field, you'll score many tries pushing through there.
Yeah, you just see that recognition, ruck recognition, second marker out of line, struggling to get back, and that was the igniter right there for Josiah Afu to come through and create. He's the ultimate creator of Afu, and they've certainly capitalised, pushed up in an attack there. You can just see Francis Ledger, the huge experience of Ledger to come through and post his first points of the day.
Well, it's easy to say, hey, rank defence, but these guys know what's ahead of them, and so they're giving the ball plenty of air. A great attitude on display here as well. And the number 9 deserves credit. He made the break. And then back to this man, last year's Domestic Player of the Year. He's got a ton of experience in club football in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. So he's played Q Cup and in Ipswich, and he makes no mistakes. So the scoreline becoming quite concerning here, as they had quite a deficit to make up, the Falcons, but they're well on the way to doing that. 36-6. Look up, kids. There's a game of rugby league on. But still, Dora the Explorer seems to have them transfixed at the moment. They're not the only ones. You can go into restaurants and nobody's looking at each other and everyone's on their phone. That seems to be the modern way. So Waikato, they'll be demoralised as well, be feeling pretty stink about it all. And there's a mistake from the Falcons. Well, it couldn't have played out better for Waikato.
Dale, I think there was a bit of a mix-up here on who was supposed to be back on that catch. Ledger was standing up at the 40-metre line. There seemed to be no one there, and as a front rower, they're not the blokes who want to be catching the footy.
He's a big unit, that David Dyer, isn't he? We're down into the last minute and a bit of the first half. Hats off here to the Akarana Falcons. Afu, Taho, Rogers, Brown, Vasuvalanka, and Ledger. I mean, it's just been an absolute powerhouse display. And Waikato, well, they just haven't known where to look or where to run. Let's see if they can post something before the break. Sure, Morgan Kutia will remind them that the region has a lot of pride in the jersey and there's still much to play for, even though they may feel down on themselves. Looking at a 30-point deficit at the halftime break. Yep, taken by Lokawa. Where will they go? Waikato, Akarana. Into Dennis. Looking that right side. Rana. Brown. Looking to pop the pass over the top into the last 10 seconds or so of play. Akarana through Hagi. Runner needed on the inside, not there though for Jerome Flood as the hooter goes in the background, and the referee will call a halt to proceedings. First half down. Fantastic effort here from the Akarana Falcons, Webby. Sensational at 36 points to 6. We'll be back and have a look at the tries coming up as well. I hope you're enjoying the action, albeit what at this stage is a one-sided clash, but plenty of good footy to enjoy from FMG Stadium in Hamilton. At the halftime break, it's the Falcons 36, Waikato 6.
Half-time is 36 points to 6, and Akarana are in control. And we talked about Josiah Afu. Well, that was on the back of the Vasu Valangiang, and they kept on coming. This try here, again on the back of a penalty, but oh, this was tight, this Tahoe try.
It was a nice little chip through, and I thought there was a couple of disappointing decisions from the ref, but they capitalised on the try with Te Aho scoring his first try of the day.
Well, simultaneous touch goes for the goes for the attacking team. Hawani Rogers-Brown adds another one, and you're beginning to wonder whether Waikato have any. And then Vasu Valangi, look at the feet here.
Yeah, nice little inside ball, and again, he showed real purpose chiming through. The bookends in Akarana have been fantastic, and he posts his first try of the day.
Finally, nice short ball, and Pawhiri Brown, the skipper, goes straight under the 6. That's converted, and they finally are on the board to try and stem the tide, but that tide keeps on rolling through. Selina Kapawa here.
Yeah, they defended really well, the Waikato side, but unfortunately Kapawa just had more determined effort there to punch through that line to score his first try.
Josiah Ofu, as you mentioned right at the beginning of the match today, has had his play in the game. Nice little run through what is turning into a very weak defence. Francis Ledger goes under, converts it. It's 36 points to 6. So if we talk about the ramifications as far as the competition goes right now, as we look sort of out towards Seddon Park, a great cricket arena here in the Tron, it's plus 32 now. When we look at the Canterbury Bulls, who currently lead the table, they are plus 50. So basically a big win here by Auckland will put them temporarily at the top of the table. So we're not going to have any answers till tomorrow after the county's Manukau Bulls game.
Yeah, pretty exciting actually. And when you look at the side at the moment, Akarana, they're just starting to build, but they're also getting free rein with all the penalties that Waikato have producing on the day. So it's been disappointing from Waikato's point of view, but Akarana will be building confidence to hopefully make that final next week.
I'm sure Morgan Kutia is very disappointed because their defensive structures are all over the place, aren't they?
They certainly are, from marker right through A and B defenders. They're not they're not moving together as a unit, and unfortunately they're just piercing through the gaps, and I just hope they can fix that, and I think it's really just an attitude thing. There's no question about that.
Just a reminder too, big old night in the footy. Coming up, the women's NRLW, the Warrior women up against the Broncos for a chance to go straight into the grand final. Of course, it's the last round. And then, of course, we've got the Roosters Euro joint up against Melbourne. Both games are at the SCG. What do you make of that one?
Well, I always look at Melbourne because they're the most consistent side defensively right throughout this whole year, so you can never go past them. But if there is a side that can really turn the screws on the defensive pattern, it is the Roosters, and they certainly can, and I'm looking forward to this match tonight.
My only concern, who stops Big Nelson Asofa Solomon, that big giant Cody? He is in career best form.
Absolutely, and again, he's got, I guess, the work ethic to boot too. So he's a giant of a man, but he's got such heart, and of 6'8", a big human being, blessed with the likes of I guess Smith, just chiming through and managing that game around. It's just going to be a magnificent game here on Sky, of course.
Don't you love the great game of rugby league? It's all on today, and there's still another 40 minutes to go and more tomorrow from Napunawai and Canterbury. Stick with us. Akarana in charge at the moment. 36 points to 6, live from FMG Stadium.
Great to have you here with us on Sky. You know, it's a tough gig when you're calling footy and it's a lopsided game, but it might be for you as well watching on. It's not that the Waikato men lack heart, but I just think there's a gulf between the quality of the club competitions in Waikato and in the Big Smoke as well. 36-6 is the scoreline at the moment. It's no doubt the Waikato team would have had it from Morgan Kutia. He's not the sort of bloke, I suspect, to explode at these men, but recognises that it is a significant challenge up against the defending premiers, the Akarana Falcons, who've been in solid and very good touch. Tries to Afu, Taho, Rogers-Brown, Vasu Valangi, Kapawa and Ledger, as we look to get underway with the second 40 of play. And that responsibility to the sole try scorer for Waikato, that's Pawhiri Brown. It will be the Falcons that will run from right to left in the second 40. Seth Taumiti with the first return of football. And now Waikato into the mix as Sam Matangi makes the tackle, and to ground on the 20-metre line, the Falcons slightly forward the pass because Seal gets it and the referee picks up on it as well, and Waikato will be in decent position early on in the second 40.
Where's that mark, mate? Right there, thank you.
I think the plan should be from Waikato is to really play to their strengths, and what we saw in the first half was their left edge seemed to find a lot more space than anywhere else they were going on the field. So hopefully we can see Akarana and Hagi, set something up here and put something down their left edge.
Well, Richie Barnett, I know you weren't in the sheds as such, but no doubt at ground level you get the realities of what this Waikato team are confronted by Many of the players in the Akarana squad have come off good seasons of club footy, and they're a potent force and difficult to contain. But also, you know that teams can lift themselves. What are you hoping for Waikato early in the second half?
Certainly, I think it's just the attitude change, really, and discipline, particularly in the first half, and we saw the execution part dropping a number of balls. So I think if they can get that right, they've got a chance. They've scored nearly 2 tries. A try with very limited ball. So if they get good ball, they're able to score tries.
It's Hayden Akarana probing through the middle, but no structure in the attack. A little bit of a scrambling attitude. And just playing the ball that's in front of them. Parfait Brown's first receiver. He tries to put the kick into the end goal. And it's read nicely as well by Darren Kellett-Moore. And in possession now, the Falcons. There's 5 out from their own line. Some hearty D coming from Henare Raukawa. Tim upstairs on the defensive work, and that'll be him coming first run as well. That big David Dyer. 12 metres in for the western touchline for Dyer. A run here from Matty Tuitama. Pops the ball out the back. This man's the one that's got to be watched like a hawk. Josiah Afu. Wonderful touch, Josiah. Great kicking game as the chip over the top by Francis Ledger almost pays off. Waikato do survive though. Number 22 comes up with the football. Mahingarangi. There's an offload on the far side of the field. Cleverly delivered to Tunuka Murray. 10 in from the eastern touchline. A 1-out run here from Lee Bristow, who shows a real commitment. He's 15 metres out from the try line. Bristow through the hands of Hagi, and now onto Akarana. Holds it up, shoots it to the back, and Tafaa gets hold of the ball. Back on the inside for Dennis, and the ball has been stripped. It's all okay, it would seem, and this is a runaway try against the run of play, I might add. And streaking down the line is Sam Fa'apito, and puts it down 15 to the left-hand side of the post. Busts a few moves there. Whacking away. And Paki Parkinson says that'll do me. Good run from Sam Fa'apito. Well, look, we were just talking about some dance moves here, and Brent Webb is famous. He's, you know, he's the guy who can. He's known for the New York hustle. He can do the 2-step. He's very good with a hat and cane. But whacking is moving your arms around while you're dancing, but not moving your feet. Or that's what I'm told anyway. Here is our senior whacker. Over to you, Webby.
Mate, I've never heard that term before in dancing or anything else. It's got to be heartbreaking here for Waikato. They were in a great position down this end of the field and really putting on some nice plays. We saw a couple of good plays early in their set on their kick return from their back through. 3, making yards up the field. But there's just a loose carry. But you've got to take your chances. And Fa'apito, he's been a standout in this tournament.
Webb's more, I think, Webby, you'd be more polyswag, I think, mate.
Again, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
exactly.
We'll keep it to ourselves.
But yeah, they had good shape, I've got to say. Waikato side had good shape, Webby, just when they had the ball, but I think they were flat in the first 2 passes, and they threw the ball back quite deep, and it really allowed the defence to come across. It warranted a bit more time for the defence to come across. So very unfortunate, but let's see how the rest of the half pans out.
Francis Ledger sort of saunters into his kicking work, really. And Sam Fa'apito, another example of the one-on-one strip. We're seeing it being utilised more. It happened a couple of times in last night's game as well. And here we get another look at it. Catch the man unawares, and this time around it was Rana Davis. Then it was shoulders back. Streaking downtown for Sam Fa'apito.
Time you're on.
Yeah, Richie, going back to your point with the halves straightening up and really trying to tie defenders up. It was unfortunate there where the fullback Tafa got the ball in good space, but he just ran his outside players out of space where they had a 3-on-2. If he just straightened up a bit.
Exactly right, mate. And I think if the learnings from that set piece, mate, is to really come hard on the line and really put the pressure in the defensive line a lot more. So, yep, big second half ahead for the Waikato side, that's for sure.
And for the scorekeepers, by the looks of things as well, they'll be working overtime at the moment. Little knock-on here from Akarana. That is welcome. Seth Taumiti makes a little error there as well. Just when you felt that Waikato were starting to lift themselves, that one-on-one strip by Whaapito on Dennis. So put a spanner in the works for Morgan Kutia's charges.
Right, fellas, we're all here. Nice and tight. All right, 2 hands in.
Scrum feed here for Hayden Akarana.
Open.
Numbers down the left edge. It's picking up here.
16. Time. Go, 1.
Dennis
Off
as
leg
well.
line. And square. Hold the 11.
Parai to his feet. 45 metres out. Again, one off running. Easy reads for the defensive structure of the Falcons. Matangi
Hold. Go.
as Akarana, first receiver, 1 right.
11 now. Give room. Here's 17. Hold him, mate. Go, 4. Good.
This inside ball is nice there for Tafa.
Play on. No advantage. No advantage. No advantage. Knock on Akarana. Let's come out here.
No advantage here. A good field position here for the Waikato men.
A great run of play here, Dale, with Tafa coming back on the inside of Flood. That's a lovely little play. If Flood had taken it a bit further to the line, would have opened up that hole a bit more, but Tafa made the most of what he got. But just, yeah, they'll come back to the original knock-on, but that was a nice passage of play.
Put some things together too, Waikato. 40-6 though.
Hold on.
So it must be hard to pick yourself up when the receiving end. There's some decent
Play hard.
thrashings over the last couple of weeks.
Hands up. Go on, boys. Go here. Go. 1.
Lee Bristow into dummy half and has to go himself.
Wait.
Rokawa, Karina,
That's okay.
shaping up through the middle. Comes Brown,
Nice.
right in front of the posts. Rokawa and now to Hagi finds his way through. Squeezes himself out of a tackle and is in beside the post. Well, that'll give them some heart, the Waikato squad. And Reynard Hagi is in to score.
Through that whole set, we've seen the width with what Waikato are willing to play with here. The balls that Rukawa was throwing at a dummy half are just spot on, straight in front, out in front of the man, and just gives you a chance to come back against the grain and really put players under pressure that are defending back through that middle. And Hagi there, outstanding.
Nothing like your halves coming onto the ball, isn't it? Squaring up and really taking the line on. It really keeps the defence honest when your 5'8" runs the ball. I played with one of the best in the game with Brad Fittler, and he was certainly one of those players who dictated terms, but he also came on the ball hard with his left foot step. He was a machine. A lovely try there from Hagi.
He came back, as you rightly mentioned, back against the grain. Onto the Waikato bench. Reynard Hagi plays for the Ngana Panthers. He's been a strong contributor to Waikato over the years too, and had a wonderful season this season. Flags were up, extras added. So 40 points to 12 now, a little bit more respectability into the scoreline. They'll need a little bit more of that as well as we down at the coaching staff.
Number or boot colour.
Here is Akarana. It's gone to Hagi. It's a very purposeful run. Knew where he wanted to go, and he got there as well.
Stay behind.
Fella. Here is the kickoff. Akarana attempted to take it. Pawhare Brown says, well, I'll pick it up, boys. Comes gassing it at Chris Seal to the 20-metre line.
Hold it, mate. Hold. Go. One.
Little short ball onto Rana Dennis. He's been a great contributor along the way.
Hold.
He's from the Tūranga Waiwai club. Rana, all heart. There's Bristow.
Don't play it on him. Go. 3. Good work.
Brown gets it to Sammy Matangi. And he offload. One thing about him, he always is looking for an opportunity as he turns in the tackle.
Go. 4.
Comes back to Brown, first receiver. Referee says, no, stay away.
10 metres.
Never.
You're in front. You're in front, mate. Here we go.
Getting some good experience here, Paki Parkinson. Like the way he referees, he's certainly, keen to liaise with the players and to let them know his thinking. Quite pick up on his call that time around, saying, no, you're off. And now, Waikato let's just turn something on here from closer range. Lee Bristow will take the ball 10 metres in for the western touchline. Runner Dennis gets hold of it. Tries to split them through the middle. Matty Tuitama is there to halt the run.
Wait for it. Wait. Go. 1.
Rokoma for Akarana now. Keeping it wide, try scorer is Hagi, back on the inside, and a decent fend from Flood. He charges towards Seal as well, and Jerome Flood, pretty hot run from him. 5 metres out from the try line. Inside ball for Matangi, who gets across and scores. Well, Waikato have gone back to back, and it's brought a few smiles to the faces of the crowd who are here to support them this afternoon.
Well, it's just, again, the width that Waikato are willing to play with, it's causing Akarana all sorts of problems. I wish we'd seen a bit more of this in the first half, but I guess they didn't get themselves into a good enough opportunity. But just the width, Rokawa, just his dummy half passing is outstanding. Again, Flood coming back against the grain with a nice big fend out there, and then creates a quick play the ball. And then we see off the back of that Rokawa again with a nice wide pass from dummy half, and then looking back inside. And that's a beautiful little ball there by Akarana. And just to open it back up through the middle. I mean, it can't look better than that. That's great play.
Yeah, it stems back really from Flood again. He's had a whale of a game. Flood, their back row has just been outstanding. And again, as you mentioned before, Hayden Akarana, ability to come across, cut back against the grain, and that nice little tip on. Beautiful play.
Hayden Akarana again with a decent opportunity to add the extras. We'll be looking at a 40-18 scoreline here, and that's a real credit to Waikato, down 36-6 at the split. Hayden makes no mistake. Akarana, very experienced. They call him Koro actually, out of the Hamilton City Tigers club, as we see. This is Big Sam Matangi. Put some decent work on. He too plays for the Panthers. Normally a centre, actually. It's his first year at Rugby League, Sam. Or maybe it's his first year, sorry, in the Waikato team. But normally a centre. He's a decent size for a centre.
A little bit of a lull, and just mentioned with Keith Henley just earlier on, he was just saying we just need a lot of energy and discipline. And if we need energy, well, you've got two players that have just jumped on, Bernard and Vasafilangi has just come on.
Both were exceptional in the opening exchanges here. 15 into the second half, as mentioned. Must pay tribute to Waikato, and a mistake there. One step forward and one back at the moment. Runner Dennis puts that ball down, and you can see he's disappointed, the second rower. A heap of blokes in there, but he was trying to get the offload runner.
You can't really blame him for that, Dale. You know, he's trying to promote something for his team, to promote some attack. You know, when you're in these situations where you're this many points down, you really want to try and promote something, and so you can't really blame Dennis too much on that occasion.
Now it's wind-up time as we see some powerhouse running coming in from the Falcons as well. This is Bernard, he throws the dummy. Well, he was good in the first half and he's exceptional. He's been on for just seconds and already he makes his mark.
Yeah, this is the energy that Keith Hanley would have been looking for. His two big boppers have come back on the field, as Richie mentioned. And just the carry here from Bernard. This is another great example for any young kid out there, young front rower, any kid, how to carry the footy. Nice and high above your waist. And this guy's a front rower. You know, you'd think he was a halfback by the way he was carrying the ball. And just a little show, change of direction, and enough strength and pace to beat the fullback there. That's an outstanding try.
Just his body position, as you mentioned before, he carts the ball extremely well. You know, he understands, he's got good vision, he knows exactly where to run between two players. He squares up, he's got good body position, and he's a workhorse as well.
He's a big man, but he's got a ton of pace as well. In club footy, they can use him, well, anywhere really in the squad, but very accomplished second row. They can use him off the bench, and as an impact player, few better. Chase for a big man, willing to throw the dummy as well. Decent step. He's a fine player as Ledger adds the extras. No surprise there. 46-18. And what looked like a bit of a resurgence here for the Waikato squad. Now takes a step back as Chase Bernard gets in there. French under-19s, bonjour, mon ami, are in New Zealand. Wishing them well. They're playing against an Auckland selection as well. They've been training at Hamilton's Rest Hills Park. It's great to see them here in New Zealand. We're a bit disappointed that this match wasn't a little bit closer. I'm sure the people of Waikato have made them very welcome. And that ball has been lost, not stripped, and so Waikato will get a chance. And some frustration emerging there from Vasavalangi. Have another look.
Just a loose carry, I'd say, Dale.
He's been good though today, hasn't he? Vasavalangi, Big Solomon. Powerhouse unit. Waikato get the scrum feed on the 20-metre line, and it's carted off the back. Away they go. Through Hagi, pushing it quickly out wide. That picks up Olangi. Mahinga to play it, still on the 20-metre line. Sun at the backs here of Waikato. 1-2, daylight saving. Starts tonight.
Hold here, hold. Go, 2.
Little shimmy and a step as well for Matangi.
Go, 3.
They scored not so long ago, and now with Brown. Brown pops the pass to Dennis. Rana pushes forward. There's only 6 out for the try line now. Caleb McLean is acting half as we see Greenwood back into the backs. Big prop forward, plays it. McLean, Brown into the end goal. Takes a lot of responsibility with both the head-up work and the kicking roll there for Pawhale Brown. This time, obviously, just a little too heavy.
Just a little too heavy, but he's got a nice little skill on him. We've seen a couple of little kicks from him in this game, but just in that good ball set leading up to that kick, just if they'd let the ball flow on that left-hand side, they were all set up, and it just kind of broke down for a second. It's just kind of been the story of Waikato this afternoon.
Matt Tafutu is in as we see Chris Seal getting his break. Again, the back rower, Rogers Brown, very effective in that first 40. And Twiley will get to his feet just outside the 40-metre line. Waikato into the ground, a little kick through from Ledger. And there was a hand in there too. Couldn't help but pull back the runner. Pucky Parkinson says, hey fellas.
What do we do?
You're kidding me. It was right in front of me. There's Ledger. There's Chase Bernard in there, and they might have got there too. Bernard. So now under the pump again, Waikato.
Time it. Hold!
Into the last quarter of the match here at FMG Stadium. You're watching round 3 of the National Provincial Rugby League Championship. Waikato, the place there. They won't win this afternoon, obviously, when you look at that scoreline. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but you know what I mean. It's been a tough old tournament for them. And that hole is massive and capitalised by Matt Tuitama. Thanks very much. No one home in front of me. It scores the easiest of tries.
That was set up very well there by Tiaho. Just going into the line, he kind of ghosted it. He didn't go and attack it too quickly. He was just waiting to pull those defenders out of the line here. The 13, Rogers Brown did a nice job with holding up with players on the inside, but Tiaho just his pace going into the line, his tempo was perfect, and then the run from Tuitama to score the try, just perfect timing.
Yeah, great shape, great lead up, and the roles of each player was executed perfectly. Lead runner, a decoy, and a sweeping runner, all in that movement. All applying their roles, running the direct lines, like they're going to get the ball. That was a perfect set piece.
Try number 9 here for the Akarana Falcons. This will please Coach Keith Hanley. It has to. Despite their setbacks going down in round 1 against Canterbury Bulls, was up there in Papakura. Bruce Pullman Park in our first week of coverage. The Bulls surprised many with how good they were to start the tournament. It was a decent win for them last week here against Waikato as well at this very venue. Here's the extras, and it's Francis Ledger. It's that one nicely, and no problem there. Beautiful baby here. Doesn't care who wins or loses, really. That's what footy's about too. These 2 kids. The bloke's stolen the other kid's ball and he's away with it. 9 tries. Well, 52 to 18.
Time to run! Time it!
Half of the ground. Starts us off again.
Move! Here's 10, here.
Waikato under the pump. They scored 2 good tries actually in the second half through Hagi and Martung.
Here's 10.
He's at 42-18 the scoreline, and then conceding another couple as Tuitama has to go back-to-back as well.
Go, 3.
It's had a good game today, Matthew. Point Chev. Especially too. And then the New Zealand Māori team. And again,
Here's 10, boys, here.
another reason why he's held in such high regard, Josiah Afu.
Play on.
Better look out here, Waikato. It's gone back, and Tuitama gets hold of the football. Bit of a fend, one-handed hold, and Hawani Rogers Brown that has the ball now. 5 out from the line. There's something in store for us as Francis Ledger comes back and across field. Plenty of numbers. The wide ball doesn't find its mark this time, goes to ground, and it will be a Waikato feed, and the scrum will be packed down.
The play was definitely on. It was just a poor pass in the end, but Ledger saw the space. It was definitely there. It was just he just couldn't manage to put the ball out in front of his winger there, Fa'apito. But Afu again earlier in that set, just opening Waikato up down the middle. But it was a great tackle by the Waikato fullback.
Jaden Flood to his feet. This is Sean McGregor, and Sean plays the ball and it goes wide. They're still willing to give the ball a little bit of air as well as Tulunga Pambari goes to ground here. Well short of the halfway line. Waikato, 52-18 scoreline.
Here, mate, here. Good work. Play the ball. Go, 4.
Akarana, chipping over the top. The run is nice. Picked up by Tafa. Oblix Tafa inside Sam Matangi. Matangi gets to pass 1, pass 2. Needs a quick play of the ball. He's got it here. Is there a try to be scored? The answer there is no, yet nada. It's knocked on. Well, Oblix Tafa thought he had a chance. I thought Matangi was going to get there as well. He was dragged down just inches away.
Oh, just so close. What a beautiful lead up to that play. The chip over the top by Akarana, and just the gathering by Tafa. If he just looked up to his left, he had about 4 Waikato players standing out on the left edge with nobody in front of him. Yeah, heartbreaking.
Well, they wouldn't have won the game, I don't think, with a try, but
Thumbs up, boys, mate.
all of them in there.
Geez, they look good when Tafa comes chiming in the back line, doesn't he? Fantastic.
Oh, I'd like to try that one again. The old chip kick over the top and having a screaming Tafa coming through on it. Looked pretty good. Just on 12 and a half to play here.
Go, 2.
Final game for Waikato in the NZRL Premiership. As mentioned, we'll wait until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to determine exactly what the finals arrangements are. Runners are plenty here, and Sam Fa'apito gets an open run down the left edge as well to score. Romping away with it at the moment, the Akarana Falcons. Not absolutely convinced here. Let me just go on back. There was something untoward in back play, and that's a bit disappointing.
Francis.
Scoreline like that.
Take him back, mate. Hayden.
Might get a chance to have a look at what happened.
Yeah, I think on the play as Chaz Brown came through to draw the fullback, I think he might have copped one as he'd passed the ball. I didn't see anything too untoward towards what happened, but Chaz Brown seems to be in a bit of trouble.
Let's go down to you, Richie. Were you just in front of you or thereabouts?
Listen, I just think the run was just brilliant. I didn't see the contact from Chaz Brown, but what a run. What a fantastic run from dummy half, and he just chimed through. And that was just a wonderful delivery of pass. Great score there. Look at this. Just the strength of the man to come through and just pump through a number of players there and look for the support there on the inside for Fa'apito, scoring his 2nd of the day.
Well, not much as well. I thought was it Tafa put a hit on Chaz Brown. Beautiful feet, stepping, strength, anticipation, guile. It's all on show here. And he gets the ball away and cops one into the ribs. His teammates came to support him as well. 56-18, kick to come. Francis Ledger's had a decent day of kicking, hasn't he?
Geez, Chaz Brown's a handy big body to be having the number 4 on his back and just showing his strength there. Yeah, I think he must have beaten 3 or 4 Waikato players, and he summed it up really well. It seems like a simple play to draw and pass when you get to the fullback with 2 on 1, but it takes a lot of doing.
The 4th try of the second half and the 2nd for Fa'apito. He scored just after the resumption of play. Remember, 36-6. 5 tries, 6 tries in that first half, followed by another 4 here. So it's been a try-scoring romp. Francis looks to add the extras. He's about 20 metres out or thereabouts. This time it doesn't come around and will stay where it is at the moment. 56-18 the scoreline here. A try to Fa'apito, but it was really Chaz Brown who deserves the credit for it. Set it up. The Flying Sam was able to put it all together. Chaz Brown, who really masterminded the effort. Smiles on the faces of the Akarana Falcons, and why not? Pretty satisfactory day at the office for the boys today. Love watching Vasuvalangi. He's got a lot to offer. The back row has been keen as mustard all day. working really hard. Done his rugby league stocks no damage. I'm talking here of Ronnie Rogers-Brown.
And square. Hold here, mate.
Just short of the halfway line now. Look out the right-hand side. And little pass from Jazz Bernard. Tafutu plays the ball. Here he goes. He's quick, Josiah. Really have enjoyed watching his game today as well, Josiah Afu. Very, very potent force as it goes through Tahoe. And now, out wide as well, and the Falcons will turn the ball over. Callum Moore passes it across now to Sean McGregor, who's in jersey number 17 for the Waikato team. For the last 10 minutes. What have Waikato got there? Something to surprise. There's little half.
10 off the ball!
Pushes forward.
Wait here. Wait!
No hold here at the moment. Chase Bernard is there as we look onto the bench. Waikato running down their representative season. This time it's Jerome Flood. He's over into enemy territory now. There's a runner on the inside. They're trying this number again. The bounce is good, and away goes. I think that's Te Pai. He's to ground on the 15-metre line, and it is Murray who will play the ball, and now it comes wide, giving it some expanse, letting it go is Haggy. Haggy gets the ball out wide. It's been touched by Dave Dyer, and it has gone across the line on the far side.
Unfortunate in there. I think the winger, Akarana winger, just got a hand to this ball. But another lovely little chip over here from Akarana. And just good work there from the winger to hang on to the ball, not overplay it. And then to come wide again. And they're stripping them for numbers here, Akarana. And just there, that last play. Was it the David Dyer just gets his hand to the ball. But great footy.
It was too. And David Dyer gets a hand and it just touches the ball. Was very impressed once again with the run by Reynard Haggy. So good maturity, foresight and vision to try and link up out wide. Just come a cropper at the last moment. But his intent was right on the button. So with the ball, see if Waikato can turn something on as we go into the last 8 minutes of play. Here in round 3, here is Akarana. Up quickly on him is Tuitama.
11, I need you straight out, mate.
Supporting Tafutu as well.
Go, 1.
The ball out, looking for work. Ahigarangi. Ledger, the defender. McLean looks for Flood. Jerome can't find his way through as well. Reynard Haggy is calling for it, but they'll go down the right side again. It's to Akarana. Inside for Rana Dennis. I think they're aware of his intentions and had a welcoming committee ready for action. And there is a touch and an intercept, and David Dyer will streak away. The chase is on, but he just got away to too decent a start. And another bit of disappointment for Waikato, who were looking to improve their scoreline, and now Akarana pushes it out to 60 points to 18, and the kick should be successful. So Waikato, well, they can't turn a trick at the moment, but David Dyer anticipating what was on, recognising how keen they were to get over the line. He was in there as a stopper and interrupter, and in one sense to a benefactor.
Once again, Dale, just an unfortunate end to what was shaping up to be a really good Waikato set. They'd set it up nicely through the middle of the field, and they was coming out to the left, and the shape was there. It was just an unfortunate, the ball here didn't go quite to hand to Tuffa, and Dyer being right there on the spot to take that all the way to the try line.
And great to see Te Pai Murray chase right to the bitter end. It's character.
So David Dyer, no problems here as the tri-fest continues for Akarana. Well, what was asked of them was to win handsomely. They can't do any more than they have. They've certainly won handsomely here today. 62 points to 18 as we see David Dyer in full flight. It's an ominous sight. threatened a few moments ago with a touch on the football as well, didn't he? So this time around it sticks and he's able to career downtown.
Just unfortunate. If the ball were to hand to Tuffa, he was going to stroll over in the corner, but once again, just not to be.
Here, fellas, here. Hold. Go, 0.
6 tries in the first half, so far 5 in the second. And they're maintaining their approach. Waikato with it, with Brown, and Brown to Akarana. Wrapped up by his opposite, Taho. 22 metres out from the try line.
Too deep, mate.
McLean a flood with the ball now. McLean goes into acting half. They have them spread wide out to the left. Ball difficult to take for Lee Briscoe, but he's got it there. He's to his feet inside the 10 metres. Hagi and Akarana. Akarana looks for the shot through, and it's into Francis Ledger. He's just now looking for who to pick out, and the run to the line is a quick one for Darren Kellett-Moore. And Francis Ledger toying with Waikato now as they rack up yet another try. A few skills on show as well in the end goal for Kellett-Moore. Into the last 5 minutes, a romping victory here for the Falcons.
Again, I feel like I'm just replaying what I just said, but just another unfortunate end to the set here for Waikato. I think it was Akarana again, just with another little kick, and Tuatama, I think it is, picks it up off his knees. Great skill, and he's just waiting and waiting and waiting for someone faster than himself to come. And then number 3, Kellett-Moore. How much pace does he have? We didn't see much of him this game, but in a bit of open space, he's got some real pace.
It's hard to know what to read into today's game now when you look at a scoreline like this. For Akarana, well, they couldn't have done any more. For Waikato, though, I mean, we're talking 46-6, then 62-6, 46-6 last week, and now 66-18. Does show a concerning gulf. The quality of football coming out of the regions that is of concern. Previous powerhouses, including Wellington, struggling to field squads now, and I suppose it's indicative of a period we find ourselves in New Zealand and globally as far as attracting young talents to these codes, especially contact sports as well. But a great showing here for the Falcons. Keith Hanley will have to be pleased with what he's seen here this afternoon. If you love seeing tries scored, you wouldn't mind it yourself. There's been plenty of them. Waikato climb. Bristow gets the ball inside to Tairakina. That's still going. Tairakina.
Here.
Ray Hunter to play it inside the 20. That was forward, but allowed to go. The touchy rightly pulls it back.
Take it easy, please.
Bristow.
Got it.
He looked up somewhat disappointed. I think he has to accept that the ball had definitely drifted forward. But enjoying the action, even though it's been a little bit one-sided. We'll get some response from the skippers post-match. We'll share with you the Tri-Fest that is round 3 here from FMG Stadium. What a performance it's been from Akarana. And this young guy has been instrumental in many of the tries. Josiah Afu, concerning that he is limping around at the moment because there's still a chance to make the final. Absolutely. The Akarana Falcons, depends how the cards fall tomorrow when the Stingrays, hosted by the Bulls. That action coming your way, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on Sky Sports. Join our team as we determine the finalists and the venue for this year's championship decider. Kellett-Moore gets it away once again to Tuitama. Fantastic, some of the standout players for you in today's game, please. Webby?
Dale, for me, it's got to go the big boys up front. Chase Bernard and Solomon Vasuvalangi. Vasuvalangi, sorry. They've been absolute standouts. Here he goes again. just the engine of the big boys and just their ability to get these quick play the balls. And then off the back of that, Josiah Afu, we've spoken a lot about him, but they've been the most important guys out there for me.
Waka's been a bad game as well. Chaz Brown, as we see dummy half work from Francis Ledger. Here, some similar thoughts from Richie Barnett as well. The fullbacks actually were involved in some nice touches at times. Obliques Tafa, but really they conceded tries. Once the 10 minutes had been posted, they hung tough through that first 10 to their credit, the Waikato boys, but in the end, they've just got outrun and outgassed by a team that knew they had to win and win big, and that they have done. Tries to Afu Taho, Rogers Brown, Vasulangi, Kapawa and Ledger in that first half. And that was complemented by tries to Fapito, Bernard, Tuitama, Dyer and Calipmore in the second half. A big win here for the Akarana Falcons. They've done what they came here to do, and that was to come away with a solid victory at full time here at the FMG Stadium in round 3 of the NZRL Premiership. It's the Akarana Falcons, the champions, leading and beating Waikato 18. Great to have you along here. 66-18 scoreline, and what a show it was today for Keith Hanley's men as we see them coming together here and congratulating each other. What a game. 66-18, the Falcons too good for Waikato. Well, there's Chase Bernard. He's had an outstanding game today. In fact, you can say that for most of the squad. Everyone put their hand up, and it's precisely what Keith Hanley would have hoped for today. For Waikato, well, again, a reminder that there's work to be done and how much effort is needed in preparation for this part of the year. It's a 4-week campaign, but it really, at the moment, is showing a decent gulf in the abilities of both teams. Let's go down and hear from the connections with Stephen McIver.
Well, Francis, congratulations. Akarana had a job to do. You had to get plenty of points on the board, so you've got one hand in the final. How does that feel right now?
Yeah, it feels awesome, eh? Just the performance that we put on today, I think we didn't go out purposely to chase points, knowing that we needed points, but we just need to stick to our processes, and the points will come at the back end.
Probably more encouraging too, no Aiden Ackland, no David Barner, a couple of other players out, that the team could bind very well like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the Akarana region, we're pretty blessed with players and depth, so when a couple of experienced boys are out, we can bring in a new stock of boys and do the job.
22 points for yourself, not a bad day out on a nice deck.
Oh, it's about getting the points on the board, so any points I could get, I'd take, man. So.
Well, just as far as my calculations work, and I was terrible at maths, so it's plus 50. Both you and the Bulls are on plus 50, so like last year, it could all come down to who hosts the final and points differential. How about that?
Yeah, definitely. That's good. It's a good close comp this year. It's always been a good close comp, but it's better when we're behind and we get the opportunity to get one hand in the finals, but we'll let the rest of the sort itself out.
Nice job today, buddy.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, Puffety Brown, the skipper of Waikato, who's been one of their leading lights in the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership. Tough day at the office, Puffety, eh?
Yeah, definitely. We knew coming into this competition, like, we're the little bully, and we've got to try and bully the big bully, really.
What progress have you seen through the 3 matches?
It was hard to keep a consistent team throughout the 3 weeks, but I think everyone that came into the side done their part. It was just probably a lack of the lungs, really. Bit of fatigue got us in the end.
Thing though, it's always good to just come out and play on a great deck like this too, right? And against the big boys, that's what drives you to play the great game, right?
Yeah, not very often we get a chance to play on awesome stadiums like this, so yeah, we take it with both arms.
Well, mate, as always, wearing the jersey with pride.
Yeah, definitely, and hats off to all the boys for all their efforts throughout the competition, and good luck to. It's tight at the top, so we try to make it harder, but good luck to whoever makes it in their final.
Well played, bud.
Cheers.
Puffety Brown there, and whilst disappointed, again a realist as well. He knows, as his teammates do, what they'll need to do next year if they're going to be competitive from the get-go. A massive victory for the Falcons, but playing with plenty of pride as well, their opponents today from Waikato. 66 points to 18, and we'll take a break. Come back with more for you right after this here on Sky Sport. Akarana were on fire, although Waikato as well had a few moments. This is Whaapito streaking downfield too after a one-on-one strip. There's 6 tries apiece, both in the first and second halves as well. Again, illustrating that there's plenty of heart still in the old Waikato squad. That's a beautiful angled run there for Reynard Hagi. It came on to Sam Matangi as well, and he ripped across the score. So they weren't without skills, that's for sure. But the lion's share of the ball, the attitude, and the tries came the way of the Falcons. There were plenty scored. Some tough, some pretty straightforward. But hats off to Keith Hanley's men from Akarana. Chaz Brown across field here, linking up with his wing as well. These are the second half tries, I might add. Plenty, if you like watching tries. And Whaapito in yet again, 66-18. And this was an intercept, and David Dyer, he too was too hard to stop when he had such a lead. Waikato with another shot, Ledger this time. He's thinking, well, what shall I do with this one? And he pops the pass across. Here comes Darren Callett-Moore. Great second half effort from the Falcons. They're up 36-6 at half time. They win this one 66-18, and a big victory for the Falcons. Let's go down to Stephen McIver.
Thank you, Dale. I have the victorious Akarana coach, Keith Hanley, with me right now. Well, they scored a couple on you. Were you a little bit nervous when you started to think about for and against?
Oh, mate, yeah, we're not big on mass. You know, we're not the smartest with footy, but yeah, there was a couple of nervy moments here, one there, and credit to Waikato, they never give up.
What impressed you most about your team's performance this afternoon?
I think it's just the resilience, you know, to have blokes out that are pretty quality and guys come in with a bit of confidence and then go out and do a job. It's always very, very pleasing.
I've got to say, Chase Bernard and Vasa Folangi, they are 2 impressive front rows you have at your disposal.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, aren't we? And we've always been lucky in that respect with our front row forwards. And those two, yeah, they're a shining example. Yeah.
Going to be a tougher final, though. You'd like the likes of Josiah Afu to keep going and making the most of what those forwards are helping them do, right?
Mate, the front row forwards are setting a real good platform for Josiah. And he's been able to play the game that we chose him to play, and it's been very pleasing.
So do you have any preferred favourites who you want to play and where you want to play? I'm sure you'd love to play at home at Mount Smart, but if Canterbury get the win tomorrow, well, it'll be hosted in Canterbury. You happy to travel and happy to have a crack at them? Oh,
mate, we're just hoping that we've done enough to get through for another final and just to be in the conversation, be in the ring to compete.
Well, at the moment, I think it's plus 50 each on points differential, but then I'm told that could come down to, at the moment, points percentage. Don't even ask me where that goes, but congratulations on a fine effort today, and potentially we could be seeing you next week.
Yeah, mate, we'll see how it plays out, eh? Thanks for that.
You've done enough, mate. You've done enough. All right, big win to Akarana Falcons. Let's just have a look at the table, shall we? Take a look and see what's going on. And at the moment, there you have. Look at the points differential, both the Bulls and the Falcons on 50, with that Bulls-Stingrays game tomorrow that could change everything. Yeah, and points percentage. We want to get involved with points percentage. So don't forget, of course, we have the Bulls versus Counties of Manukau tomorrow, and that is something we are looking forward to. But that'll be live on Sky Sport from Ngāpunawaia, which is a new community facility that's been built there, Barney, and it's a really lovely spot. But it's going to be an interesting one to watch, this one, isn't it?
It certainly is, and you know, I was really impressed, I said before, with Counties, how they're performing, and I think it's been a really tight competition, to be honest. I know we've seen the Bulls just sort of protruding up, and they've really been the mainstays of this competition, and both Akarana and Counties are really striving to make that final. So very interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
I think what we have seen today, though, without key players, what Akarana can do, and both Counties and also the Bulls would be just slightly nervous about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, you know, when you've got a coach like Keith Hanley, who's been around and he's a very astute coach, I think when you've got him steering the ship around, I think there's always a threat in this competition.
There is some real talent out there. We just remind you, of course, coming up tonight, the Warrior Women in the WNRL play Brisbane at the SCG as the curtain raiser to the second preliminary final. That's going to be a ripper, isn't it? It
is certainly going to be a ripper. You know, the Brisbane Broncos have been the best. I mean, they won the competition last year. They are a real threat. The Warriors need to step up a cog or two, but I think they could find that their conditioning is a lot better this year, so that'll help.
And our thoughts to the Warrior Women's coach, Luisa Aviaki, who sadly lost her father father just over the past week, and of course to Honey Hidemi, who is a friend of ours, a part of our team who lost mum as well. So on behalf of all the team, our warmest, heartfelt thoughts go out to the families of both Louisa and Honey. But there you go, folks. Akarana have one hand in the final of the New Zealand Rugby League Premiership. There's more coming your way tomorrow, so stick with us. The Bulls and the Stingrays live on the home of the great game, Sky Sport.